Welcome to our web exclusive. I'm Mike Montecalvo along with Eyewitness News Analyst Lt. General Reginald Centracchio. General, important elections took place in Israel. Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister, was re-elected. Although it was a close race, it was a contrast of two different type of candidates.
Exactly. His platform, Netanyahu, was based upon two items that was of significance. Number one is he said there would be no Palestinian state. And that is obvious reasons on his part that would be certainly a threat to the very existence of Israel. The second, perhaps more important, is that he has a tremendous opposition to the talks that are going on right now with Iran as it relates to its nuclear program. Both those issues, I think, put him over the top in reference to most of the people in Israel understanding that either one of those could be disastrous for Israel.
Were you surprised it was as close as it was?
Well, yeah, a little bit, I think, but I'm seeing what's happening now. He is, in fact, bringing the majority of people within the Israeli government process on his side. So I think he may have it a little bit easier in reference to several years ago as to exactly how he can get his agenda across. And most importantly, I think a lot had to do with his coming to the United States and making that presentation to our Congress.
Now, how does this affect our relationship with Israel, especially pertaining to Iran?
You know, one of the most significant items that I see in the next several months, especially as we get closer to the talks and a plan, is the exact relationship between our Congress and the President of the United States. There seems to be some significant divisiveness as it relates to how we deal with Israel and how, in fact, we negotiate any deal with Iran. That seems to be a three-way street right now, and that's a hard thing to look at and to be able to make any kind of assessment on that.
Now, I don't know if this date is set in stone. They have made the date of March 31st to come up with some type of framework for a nuclear agreement with Iran. Do you see us making that at all? You
know, I see us making it, but I'm not sure we would probably embrace it because at some juncture the United States Congress has to obviously endorse that and come on board with it. I don't believe the President of the United States has the power to negotiate and to install a particular plan. And that, in essence, has part of that's the problem that we're seeing right now as to what part does the Congress play in any plan that a sitting president has to be able to negotiate a deal unilaterally and have it endorsed by the Congress.
Well, General, we're talking about the United States here. What about world powers? How are they feeling about this?
I think, generally speaking, the world wants to see a deal. But at the same time, I haven't seen what's in that plan. I don't think many people have. There's a concern. What exactly are they negotiating? Is it that nuclear plans can, in fact, have Iran developing a nuclear capability for power? Or is it one step further, authorizing them to keep their centrifuges alive to be able to take it one step further and develop weapons-grade material? That's the major concern. So I think Israel is looking at it from a point of view of its very survival. From the United States point of view, I think we're looking at it as a matter of national security, and therein lies the problem in reference to Israel. That is our ally. That's the only stable factor in the entire Mideast, and we need to preserve that.
So the U.S. going to continue a presence in the Middle East? And with that said, what about Rhode Island National Guard troops?
Certainly, I think you'll see a presence in the Mideast, especially when President Obama has talked about maybe drawing back on the amount of troops he was going to take out of Afghanistan. But that certainly opens the possibility that we would see Rhode Island National Guard troops be deployed once more.
All right, talking about the Guard, the governor of the state of Rhode Island, Gina Raimondo, has not made a decision yet or has not said anything yet on Adjutant General Kevin McBride. What are you hearing?
Well, I'm hearing basically the same. She's not made a decision. Hopefully it'll be soon. It's absolutely an important position in the state as we have troops in harm's way. If he's not reappointed, he certainly has the option of retiring. You
know, General, we only have about 30 seconds. Obviously, you sat in that office for many years. What is the main responsibility for the Adjutant General?
The main responsibility is making sure that the troops assigned to Rhode Island are ready for their federal mission, simultaneously being ready for the governor to be able to call it in for states of active duty for a state of emergency.
All right. General Centracchio, as always, thank you for your thoughts, and thank you very much for watching.